G'day everyone, welcome back to Roo and Hammer. We thought you'd gotten rid of us, but we are back for one last hurrah in 2022. We thought the footy season was over, but yes, World Cup done and dusted, and we have the draw release, so that's what we're here to talk about tonight. Got the band back together as usual. Hammer, how's it going, mate?
Good, mate. Yeah, good. I've got to apologise for the blankness behind me here. I'm in the throes of packing up to move, so everything's packed away. I'm living on the bare essentials at the moment, mate. So that's why I look like I'm in, I don't know, Neverland at the moment. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. Works good. I'm good to be joined by the boys from across the ditch. How are you, boys?
Yeah, good, thanks. Great to be back on.
Yeah, very good, guys. Thanks for having us on.
We love
No
it.
worries. Pleasure as always. You're basically co-hosts.
Yeah.
Well, as I touched on, the Rugby League World Cup finished last weekend, and it was the Kangaroos taking out the trophy once again against a Samoan team that probably exceeded or maybe not exceeded everyone's expectations. We expected big things from them after their first showing. It wasn't looking good for them, but they regrouped and had a dream run all the way through to the final. Guys, what were your overall thoughts on the World Cup? Probably not the result that you guys were after. Hammer, as you were saying before, the footy season was over for you 1 week before the final.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I was on the Kiwis all the way. Really thought that we had a good chance to take it out. Going down to the Aussies ever so closely in that semi-final, that was it for me. Footy season was done. I must say, I went back and had a look at our predictions and that. I think Rich was the only one that really predicted the Aussies to come out with a win, and we hated him for it at the time.
I hated myself for it too.
But yeah, I think Samoa. I do think they overachieved because everyone thought that Tonga would be the team that went through from that side of the draw, based on the history that Tonga have had over the past couple of seasons. I mean, that Samoan backline, I think they had 5 of the Panthers players in that backline, so stands to reason that they were going to get some good ascendancy going in that tournament. But yeah, good result by Australia. Great for Samoa to get there. Couple of disappointing teams. I thought, Tonga were a bit disappointing in this tournament. Obviously, the Kiwis losing, and then in the women's. Yeah, the women's comp, again, the Kiwis lost to the Aussies in, I think, round 3 of their pool matches by only 2 points, and I thought that we'd really have a good chance of taking that out, and the Aussies just came out and smashed us in the final. Just, so much talent in that, both the Jillaroos and the Kangaroos, so congratulations to them. Boys, what did you think of it?
You go, Richie.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it on our show last night. I think it was fantastic for Samoa to do what they did and bounce back from the hiding they got in the first round. What they ended up doing was kind of on par with what I thought they and hoped they might do. But yeah, I did tip the Kangaroos, and it's just too many players that have been there and done that in big matches. It's the same old story with the Kangaroos. They just, I felt like in the final, Samoa really needed to get off to a good start and have some scoreboard pressure because the Kangaroos are a very hard team to chase down.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same. I think the Kiwis did have a legitimate shot at taking the Kangaroos out, and you can't take your eye off the ball for a second against the Kangaroos. And that's exactly what happened. That one try.
It was the whole Brandon Smith stuff.
Smith, I was going to say.
The penalty he gave away and then just not getting back in the line. And it was that one thing.
It was just that. I think before that happened, it looked like they were getting under the Kangaroo skin. You were seeing them get a bit niggly, which you don't normally see that much. And it was like, I think they got this. And then, once they got ahead, Jerome Hughes, I think we talked about in our show, Richie, he almost became a Warriors player for a second when he kicked on the second tackle.
Yes.
That's not something you would ever see him do for Melbourne.
Yep.
It was, it was just like a brain explosion. I think if they had built some pressure there, they could have actually done something. But yeah, Kangaroos, you could have taken every player out of that squad and replaced them with someone else, and they'd still be one of the strongest teams there. The depth is crazy. But yeah, full credit to Samoa. I think on your guys' show when we predicted it, I said either Tonga or Samoa would beat Australia in the final if the Kiwis didn't do it first. So I was happy at least one team I picked made the final, kind of. But yeah, I was completely on the bandwagon with Samoa before it started, and then completely off after that first game. But yeah, I think that difference between Tonga and Samoa was just, I think we talked about it, you know, throughout the World Cup. It was just the spine. Tonga don't have one.
And Samoa's the same. Like Milford at halfback, not a true halfback. You know, Luai's a 5'8", so he's got a guy like Cleary in club footy that kind of directs the play around, and he plays off the back of that. I said to Rob after, you know, this tournament kind of kicked off and midway through and the results were coming through, the biggest thing with Fiji, Samoa and Tonga is that they're very competitive. We saw Fiji have a competitive game against the Kiwis, but it's their spine, especially in their halves. They lack halves, and until they get some decent halves coming through their systems, they'll never compete with the likes of Australia and New Zealand on a regular basis. You know, they may get a win here and there, a shock win here and there, but it won't be something regular. And that's what Australia has over everybody at the moment.
Milford had to play out of his skin in that final, and unfortunately that didn't happen for them. And like Luai is probably used to not being the game managing half, like being alongside Cleary and everything. Coming up against him was certainly been weird for him, but. I just always had the feeling that Australia was going to be too strong. The Kangaroos, it would have been a great fairy tale story, but you just couldn't realistically see it happening. The juggernaut that is the Kangaroos.
You'd have to think that the host nation would be a bit pissed off as well.
Extremely.
Like I think the whole thing, the draw, the way they did the draw, it was set up for England to make the final. They gave them the easiest run through in both the men's and women's, and for them not to be there, I think they'd be very, very disappointed. And then the next World Cup's in France, so it's Northern Hemisphere again. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yep.
They've got to alternate between Australia, New Zealand, PNG, and the Northern Hemisphere. I mean, I know you're trying to grow the game. That's a bit of a gripe of mine. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the World Cup. I think there's too many teams that are just ring-ins. I know they got to get exposure some way, but teams like Jamaica and Greece and I mean even Scotland. I mean they've gone backwards. They were showing a bit of improvement
maybe
years ago, but a pre-tournament.
Maybe they need.
He's gone sideways, and he's muted. I think what he's trying to say is I think they do like the minnow teams play for the right to enter the World Cup, or they have automatic qualification to Australia, New Zealand, England, PNG, and then perhaps Tonga, Samoa. Depends what they do with them if they make them tier 1 nations as well.
I think
word of that.
I think they've just come out today and said that it's not going to happen.
Okay.
I haven't got 100% confirmation, but it sounds like that's they're staying tier 2.
Yes, I did read that on the ever reliable source that is Facebook.
Yeah. Geez, Brad Fittler will be very happy about that.
Won't he?
I know. It's straight away. I just thought of Origin eligibility, and he'd been sort of outspoken about saying that players of Pacifica heritage are always welcome to play Origin, and they are within the current rules if they've lived in Australia before their 13th birthday.
Yeah.
Then they have the right to play Origin. But I'm of the opinion that they shouldn't be able to have their cake and eat it too. I think they should choose. They want to play Origin, play for the Kangaroos, or they play for their nation of heritage. But something they'll have to work through with all the Polynesian juniors that are coming through the system, born and raised in in Australia. So they'll have that tough decision to make. But I think the majority of the Samoan guys were saying that they're planning to stick together and do like a kind of Tongan style ambush on rugby league. So, Hammer gets himself organised there. All right, well, that is the World Cup done and dusted. We might move on to a little bit of Warriors news. Brad, you must have been excited that we signed another former Dragon.
Oh, I love it.
Braden Viliami. What are your thoughts on that one? On that signing?
I feel like Cameron George and Webster are taking the piss out of me, to be honest. I don't understand. There's so many teams all around the world. Why do you have to keep taking the one team I don't like? I think we talked a lot of it off air about it after it was announced. I think it's more for New South Wales Cup. I think bringing the New South Wales Cup team back, you're going to see a lot of these guys. There's a chance he might end up in first grade, but I feel like he'll be playing for the New South Wales Cup side, and we need a strong team there too. So, I think it's more a depth signing. I'm still really concerned that they aren't getting any front rowers. I know that's my thing.
You would say that.
Yeah, I know. I love my front rowers, but we're looking very thin there right now, which is a concern. At the moment, I think if you look at it, we've got Fanua Blake, Bunty, and Tom Ali are kind of like our top three front rowers right now. Because I know Webster's basically come out and said Tohu's not going to be in the front row. So that's effectively who you've got. You've got Fanua Blake, Bunty, and Tom Ali, who are all good players, but you need at least one or two more in there before you're looking at the Kepu twins and the like, trying to bring them up.
And Tom Ali's only played a handful of first grade games anyway, so it's a lot to expect him to put in a full season.
Yeah.
Like it's just amazing that we've just struggled with go forward for years now, and we just keep bringing in second rowers second rowers that can play centre and that's a real area of weakness for us. Rich, how do you rate our recruitment for 2023 overall?
I'd say overall that you got to be pretty happy with it. We've picked up some experienced quality players. Chance, Dylan Walker, Tamati Martin, as well as some exciting up-and-comers, Metcalf. And so I think overall you got to be pretty happy with it. It's just with the Warriors, we're kind of getting a bit desperate to see a U-turn in results now. So you hope it all gels together pretty quickly, and a new coach as well. So we're going to see some changes this year for sure. Hopefully of the good kind.
A lot of utility value in all those signings. So you got a lot of guys who can play a number of positions. Most of them probably in the back line.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can get a bit more size before 23 kicks off. Just on the new coach, you guys heard much of his stuff? He did a bit of an interview on the Warriors page, and he did an interview with Martin Devlin. Have you guys listened to that?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yep.
Saying all the right things?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I still go in with a bated breath. Because they know they've been coaches for a long time. They know the right things to say. I like what I'm hearing, though. It's just seeing if what he's saying now, if they actually deliver that come February, is the thing. You can talk a big game, but if you don't back it up, how many coaches have we had who have come out saying all the right things, and then halfway through the year they're in the unemployment line. So, I'm really hopeful. I think he does have what they need. He's an Australian coach that's had some good experience, knows that we actually live in New Zealand and doesn't mind living here, which ticks a big box. And, I think he's got what it takes. We just got to see how the players respond.
Yeah, and he's had no better mentor for the role than Ivan Cleary, a man who's been there and done it at the club. And, really enjoyed his time there. Hammer's back. You with us, mate?
Mate, fuck. Fucking technical shit. My phone does because my computer's fucked. So I'm back, but I'm here.
Okay, we'll soldier on. We're just talking about Webster. Any thoughts on Andrew Webster?
He's done a couple of interviews over in New Zealand, saying all the right things. Going to bring a fresh. The fact that he's been there before, I think, is a big thing for us as well. So, I think if anyone has discussed this, because I've been in limbo land for the last couple of minutes, but I think if anyone thinks that we're going to have a real thing, they need to take a step back because, as I said, even our spine, like our spine is not a top class spine. Like who was good in 2019, but really hasn't done a lot in the last couple of years. Sean Johnson's aging to make in the halves for a good period of time, and Wade Egan is a toiler, but he's not a hooker. So I think it's going to take a bit of time for the Warriors to rebound. I think people really need to get their head around that going into next season. I think Webster's got to be given the time to build his squad. But I think that they didn't go with a big name coach. They went with someone who's got a little bit of under some great coaches. So I'm excited for him. I'm happy that he's there. Let's see how he goes next year with the squad that he's got and build on that.
Yeah, I think we have to be prepared to be patient. Not expect miracles first year. Hopefully, he becomes the first Warriors coach in a while to see out his full contract. Did you see the footage of the boys going out and working real jobs, doing hard labour this week? What are your thoughts on that? Oh, struggling as a barista and moving boxes around a warehouse. I mean, I know what they're trying to do. It's like the whole Melbourne Storm thing, isn't it? But those guys actually go out and do hard labour and dig trenches, and these guys are making lattes and that kind of thing.
That was the teachers' pets that were doing that. Stacey and Jazz and Ronald Volkman, I think, were doing that. Some of the other boys were doing some harder work in the construction, but we talked about last night. I think it's like as you said, Melbourne do it. I think it's a good thing to build some character, and it's a good PR spin as well. Yeah. So it's kind of a win-win for the club.
Yeah. Well, have you seen the new merchandise?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the new merchandise? What are your thoughts on the navy blue? I don't know what's going on in the design team of Puma, but yeah, very unimaginative and very expensive. $100 for a polo shirt. They didn't even get the 1NZ logo on it. I see a couple of training shirts that come out today. It's got the 1NZ logo on the front and the back. It's essentially a navy t-shirt with a bit of red and green on the side. So that'll set you back $100.
The pricing is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Hey, Hammer, do you want to jump out and jump back in again? See if just got a little bit of audio issues there.
But yeah, the prices have always been an issue, to be fair.
It's gone up even more though. Like those shirts used to be maybe $80, gone up to $100.
They're trying to make up all the money they lost during COVID and not being in the country, you see.
Yeah, I suppose there is an element of that, but yeah, like to be honest, I can't. I'm happy to be proved wrong, but I can't really see this stuff selling well. We haven't even seen the jerseys yet, and I think that might be a bit of an issue with getting the sponsor on the jerseys because they would have been made in production like a long time ago. I believe that the club has been across the whole sponsorship change, been working with 1NZ, but we shall see.
I think I'd rather be wearing a Melly t-shirt or a Curran t-shirt like you guys are wearing.
Yeah,
I think that's better value for money, isn't it?
Oh,
100%.
I was going to say for $23.
Yeah, you get 20. It's the 20th anniversary of Francis Melly's 5 tries against the Bulldogs next
How
season.
good.
So it's
How
been
good is
23.
that?
So if you wanna grab one, jump onto the Redbubble store. The link is in the description for the video, and we'll be putting it up on screen later on. All right, now into the main course of our discussion. The 2023 NRL Draw was released a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So as we were expecting, there's 9 home games. 9 games at Mount Smart, and we have a game at Napier. So a home game against the Broncos in Napier. And has it been confirmed that the Tigers are taking that game to Hamilton?
Yes.
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 Yeah. So they're the only ones who have put their money where their mouth is, to their credit. And, taking a game to NZ, which is great to see. But overall thoughts on the NRL Draw on first glance?
For us or overall NRL Draw?
Overall first, and then we'll sort of narrow our focus on the Warriors Draw.
Because I haven't really looked at anything apart from the Warriors. And the reason and that is that this year was such a difficult year in terms of performance. Like, it was the best season ever in terms of results. I kind of want to just forget about football. You want to you put one eye over the draw for the Warriors, but you really can't give a shit about the other clubs at the moment.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably the only interesting one for me is the fact that the Dolphins get the Roosters. A great thing the NRL could have done is had the Dolphins versus the Broncos, or a derby for them to start off with, but they get the Roosters. Like the NRL are just assuring the Roosters get an easy 2-point win to start the season, so that they somewhere. But yeah, I really haven't had a look at much of the other. It's, for me, it's all about Warriors.
Yeah, we're looking at the Warriors draw. Round 1, Friday the 3rd of March. Warriors versus the Knights in Richie's neck of the woods, Wellington, at the Cape Tin. Do they still call it that?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that one, mate? Because we don't have the best record there.
Yeah, we don't.
We won the last one we went to, Richie.
We did. So yeah, last time we played the Sharks there, we won. Brad
That's
and
a
I went to
1-point
that
game, wasn't it?
Yeah. So on form, yeah. And it's in Wellington. I'll take it. So it's first home game in Wellington since I've been living here. So hopefully, Brad, you can sort out a ticket and come down, and it's against the Knights, so it's not like it's against the Panthers or anything. It's really realistic chance of winning that game and getting off to it out of the blocks nicely.
Hey, Hammer and I were talking about this, and we're wondering who this game was created for. Is it like, oh yes, we get to play the Knights first round, or is it for the Knights saying, oh yeah, we get to play the Warriors first round? And well, it's one of those games where like it's a real banana skin matchup against the Knights. I mean, they've kind of had the wood over us lately.
We haven't beaten the Knights since 2020 either, which was
Tamworth game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the Warriors draw. I think I talked to you guys in our text chat, and I'm really concerned about the start. I was looking at the first 10 rounds and said I could quite easily see the Warriors on like 2 wins and 8 losses.
Yeah, isn't it brutal?
It's basically, I see the Knights. We play the Knights twice in that, and I think we can get the Knights, but they got Roosters, Cowboys, the Dogs, Sharks, Cowboys again, then Storm, Roosters, Panthers.
And all these other teams have improved. The Bulldogs have improved. The Knights have improved their rosters.
That round 5 against the Sharks through to round 10 against the Sharks at PointsBet. We got the Knights at McDonald Jones. We get the Cowboys at home. Then we're Storm at 8 and the Panthers Magic round at Suncorp. in that period of time, we've got the 4 teams that were in the top 4 last year. Melbourne, Cowboys, the Sharks, and the Panthers, who were, 5th or 6th?
Yeah.
That's a horror. That is going to define our season. That will make or break our season. Because if we can't pick up anyone, and we obviously got the Knights in there, so if that in that 6-week period, if we have 2 points, which is against the Knights, or worse, no, I think our by around 10.
It's crazy. It almost looks like we were like an afterthought with the draw, and they go, oh, hang on, they got to play the Roosters and the Cowboys. How are we going to fit all this in? Or they'll just play them twice in the first 10 rounds.
Yeah,
because round 2 we're off to Sydney. That'll be our first visit to the revamped Sydney Football Stadium against the Roosters Saturday, March 11 in round 2, a 2:00 game. And then round 3, we're up to Townsville to take on Toddy's Cowboys.
Brad, I know,
mate, that's going to be so hot.
Brad, I know we've got the first home game is in, but waiting until round 4 to get our first official home game. At first 10 rounds, I think we've only got 3 games at Mount Smart Stadium. How do you feel as a Kiwi Warriors fan?
It's disappointing, and I know there was a lot of people upset that the first game was going to be in Wellington, but that's a stadium logistics issue. Harry Styles is playing at Mount Smart that weekend.
Seriously?
Priorities.
Yeah,
so,
Harry Styles.
So the fact that's the negative of not owning your own stadium. When the Auckland Council own the stadium, they can basically do what they want with it. So that's why that one. But I think it's not bad to get it out of the way early. No disrespect to Richie and the Wellington crowd, but for planning as an Auckland-based fan, having that first round in Wellington, you can kind of get that trip out of the way. But yeah, I was hoping for a couple more home games starting up, but at the back end, they basically get 3 home games in a row if you include the Tigers game in Hamilton. And they've got a few back-to-back home games around. So what they lack at the front, they're kind of making up for at the back end. But as you say, Hammer,
assuming that we're going to be in a position to take advantage of it.
By round 10, that might not matter anymore. So,
exactly. I mean, you got Roosters, Cowboys, and then round 4, the Bulldogs at home, the first home game at Mount Smart. Back to Sydney again for the Sharks. That's a Channel 9 game. Far out. The Channel 9 are generous, giving us a game that early in the season. Then we're round 6. We're back to Newcastle, take on the Knights again. And that's either a good or a bad thing. We'll reserve our judgment after round 1. And then the Cowboys again, this time at Mount Smart. So they 15th of April. And then the dreaded trip to Amy Park. I don't think any of us have recovered from last season, 70-10. But let's do it all again. Round 8, Tuesday, the 25th of April, the traditional Anzac Day clash against the Storm. And what we've been told, massacre. And what we've been told is that's the first game that the Storm request every year when they say, what do you guys want from the draw? And why wouldn't you if you were the Storm? It just seems like an eternity ago that we last won. It was 2014. Was our last win in Anzac Day game. So, I mean, it's a great occasion, great spectacle, but that's about it. All ends when the game kicks off, unfortunately.
It's Tuesday game, that game too, and then we back up 5 days later to play. Godsend there is that the Roosters are doing the exact same thing because they played the Tuesday against the Dragons, and then back up 5 days to play us. But I'm at the draw. There's 17 teams in the comp, and we get the same 3 teams twice. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like they've done a shuffle playlist And then all of a sudden, these teams all came up in a row again. It's like, oh, I know, I couldn't be able to change it. It's just the Warriors after all. What have they done for us lately? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So round 9, we take on the Roosters back at Mount Smart. Round 10, Magic Round. Now we always look forward to Magic Round. Fantastic event. You boys are due for a trip over for Magic Round. You guys have got to make it this year, surely.
No, not for this one. Have you seen who we play?
But hey, the best part about Magic Round is not actually the game. It's the pre-match function, the Warrior Nation pre-match function. You got to be there for that.
Just live stream it. It'll be fine.
I did see that. Like, of all the teams for us to take on, it's the Panthers, and they were talking about the team that was going to miss out, and it was as I think Mark Roberts has said before, the team with the least fan engagement being the Newcastle Knights missing out, but. I think we were probably the second worst. They said, "Oh, your consolation prize is you get to play the Panthers in Magic Round." So, jeez. But yeah, make sure you guys all do turn up to Magic Round. Head to the Lord Alfred Hotel for the Warrior Nation fan meetup. Always a fantastic event. We're going to be just mingling with our fans, chatting with. Fellow Warriors content creators, and also have a few ex-players there, as always. A couple of legends there, and we're having a bit of a chat with them. So if you're in Southeast Queensland, even if you're not, we'd love to catch up with you guys there. That is Saturday, 6th of May. Then after that...
We'll start a GoFundMe page and Brad over for it.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yeah. Round 11, Friday, 12th of May, we're back to Sydney to take on the Bulldogs in our favourite 6 o'clock slot. And then round 12, we get our first bye. Now, looking at those first 12 rounds, you're right. Like, we could easily be on about 2 wins.
Yeah.
The other way to look at that is it looks like a tough start, but when you look at last year, this year we're playing the Roosters and the Cowboys early. Last year, both of those teams were really slow out of the blocks and started the season pretty poorly. Maybe it's a good time to get them.
Yeah,
could be. Yeah,
I love your optimism.
You got to be, mate. You got to be to support this team.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I know we get 3. Do we still get 2 points a bye next year? And if so, we're at least going to finish on 6 competition points.
How bad is that we're already talking about that now? Oh, we can't finish on 0.
They haven't said anything, but I assume you would just end up with 6 extra points instead of what it was this year. But I'd assume so, because I know they complained last time when they didn't used to have bye points with teams that were getting buys towards the end of the season, and it affected them making the 8. So I feel like, they would have to give you 2 points for each one.
Surely, yeah. Well, that's good. That's good for us, because we get buy round around Origin, where they give every team a buy there, but we get to the few teams to get the 2 buys because of the 17 teams in the comp.
Yeah.
Done. And we get the Dolphins twice as well, which is good.
Yeah, very good.
It's good.
The Clough stuff's with us. He's coming over for Magic Round. Awesome. He's coming over from NZ Boys. Richie Morgan, Warrior Nation, saying, "Come on, boys, about time for a trip." So, we'll get that GoFundMe.
Richie Morgan can pay for me. He's traveling all over the place. So, contact me, Richie, and
Richie, hook the boys up.
We're gonna have to start saving, Brad.
I'm still trying to save to go to Wellington and Napier.
Speaking of which, that's the next game, round 13. Warriors versus Broncos at Napier. And we come up against an old foe and Reece Walsh. He may not even be in first grade at that point in time.
It's looking, I don't know if you're across it. I think it's looking that way because they've tapped Tessie New on the shoulder and told him he's free to go. So, they've changed their tune because they were basically saying it was going to be between those two battling it out, and now they've told him if you find the club, go. So Reese, I think Richie said last night they're obviously not doing defensive drills at preseason yet, and Reese has got ahead at the moment.
Yes.
He's got a fully sick leg tat though. Have you seen that?
No.
No. Yeah, what was weird was at Broncos training, looks like they're doing sprint drills in like a basketball gym in full kit, which was a bit weird. Yeah. So you boys going to go to the Napier match?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the plan. It's kind of like middle ground for me and Richie.
Meet halfway.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit to the side, but yeah, I'm aiming to go to the Wellington Napier, and Waikato is an obvious one, but yeah, Wellington Napier definitely are ones I'm going for.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, round 14, an historic clash. This is when we take on the Dolphins for the first time at Mount Smart Stadium, 3:00 Saturday game. And this is one that Hammer and I have penciled in that we're going to try and make it over for.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be an awesome game to go to. To say you're at the first ever.
A lot of go fun set up to
Richie Morgan, add that to it as well. Yeah, but that'd be fantastic. I actually went to the first ever Warriors Titans game. Actually, I just remembered that at the old Carrara Stadium, one of the worst places ever to watch football.
Yeah,
it's at Carrara. They now turned to that AFL stadium, but yeah, that'll be interesting because who knows how the Dolphins are going to go. Look, they on face value they've got a fairly decent side, but I mean if they get hit by injuries, and their depth will be sorely tested. But Rich, you'll have to come up for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have to, mate. That'll be a non-negotiable. It'd be cool to go to the Dolphins' first foray to Mount Smart.
Absolutely. Yeah.
After that, round 15, Friday the 9th of June. This will be an absolutely freezing clash with the Raiders at GIO Stadium, 6:00 on a Friday night.
It'll be snowing.
Yeah, dead set me snowing. Remember that game back in 2000? Leslie Vainicolo dives in the corner and scores a try, and then had to pour hot water down his shorts because all the snow went up his pants. And after that game, we get another bye. Round 16, we have our second bye of 3. Brad will have this one in his calendar. The round 17 clash, St George Illawarra versus our boys. 8:00 p.m. Friday the 23rd of June. That's a Channel 9 game. That's a prime time slot, boys.
Prime time. I think
all I can think is Origin is on. That's all I can think of, and they usually chuck us in on Channel 9 games when there's Origin. There's only like 4 games on the weekend.
I think this game's got to be played for the Brad Ingot Cup, surely.
Yeah.
That's got to be an annual clash. Brad Ingot Cup.
Haven't we got some cups to play for?
Sam Rebel wants Brad going to Wollongong for that game.
Yeah, surely you got to travel to Wollongong, Brad. Come on.
Never going to step foot in Wollongong ever.
Screw Magic Round. You got to go to the Gong for that one.
No. I've heard it's a great stadium.
Picturesque, yeah.
It's a great.
But yeah, I don't want to go there.
Mm-mm. We've won like 2 out of 20 games there as well. Yeah. So it's not good. We did win the last game we played there, didn't we? Back in 2018. You were there for that one, Hammer. Yeah, but
that's where they sat us in the away supporters section. The dead ball line, and you're looking at it.
That's right. You were facing the wrong direction. Absolute stitch up. Yeah, they love us in the away supporters base. Yeah. I think the previous to that game, the last time we won there was against the Steelers in '96. So yeah.
Yeah, we've got a shocking record against the Dragons. Even when they're not playing well, we seem to always slip up on them. I don't understand it.
I will never, ever forget that game from 2021.
Yeah.
Never forget that game. That is horrific. That is nightmare stuff. That one.
18-4 we're leading, got done or something
Was that the Corey Norman field goal one?
Yeah.
You can see it happening a mile off. The one where it was Chad Townsend's first game back at the club, and he went for a field goal when we were up by 8.
Yeah.
And oh, geez, oh man. Yeah.
To go and still lost the game. So
yeah,
good memory. Times good.
Yeah,
good times.
Round 18, another team that we struggle against and have had like about one win against in the last 10 years is the Rabbitohs. We beat them in round 1 2018, but geez, we haven't beaten them in a long time. We're playing them at Mount Smart Friday, 30th of June, round 18. Round 19, we're back in Sydney to play Parramatta at Combank Stadium. Saturday night game, 5:30 kickoff there. And then we take on the Sharks again, back at Mount Smart Stadium, Sunday, 16th of July. And then we play the Raiders again.
Yeah.
Again, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose we do have a bye in between and the 4 games. But yeah, we seem to be playing these teams very regularly. That's at Mount Smart, round 21, Friday the 21st of July. Then we have our third bye in round 22.
We will be on 6
Yeah, and then we're going to the Gold Coast. That's always...
We'll be on 8 points.
Yeah, we take on the Titans at Seabus Stadium. I guarantee you, if the Storm always request to play us in Anzac round, I guarantee you the Titans demand a home game against us every year because of all the extra locals that turn up to that game on the Gold Coast. It's always way more Warriors fans than Titans fans there. We used to have a good record there. Used to.
Yeah. That game, Rob, will be a lot better than two. Scorching hot sun. It was comfortable, wasn't it?
That was awful. So that was round 2 in 2022, and we just kept moving further and further back up the grandstand because the sun was just following us. Scorching hot afternoon. Probably best known for us bombing about 3 or 4 tries.
Yes.
So it was trying to win that game. We should have won it, but anyway. Round 24. Now, this is the match we were talking about earlier. This is a home game for the West Tigers, but they're bringing it to the Waikato, Hamilton Stadium there. What's that? Is that a pretty good place to watch footy, boys?
Yeah.
It's not an enormous stadium, but the pitch is a really good quality pitch, and I think it's nice and close to the action. So,
yeah, I've been there for one Warriors game in the preseason. They've done there, and a few rugby games. So yeah, it's not a bad stadium. It's not home, but it's close enough.
Yep. Yeah, see, I'm thinking about coming to this one because I've got family that live in Hamilton, so we might use that. My sister-in-law lives there, so we might come over for a visit and try and make it to this game.
Nice.
The solo leg of the Mike Doreen Cup. This only one leg.
Only one leg. That's amazing. Like normally they give us a bit of a leg up by giving us 2 games against the Tigers, but again the Tigers are going to will be much improved as well.
Yeah.
So I mean they are not going to be pushovers.
They'll still be rubbish, mate. Trust me. They'll still be rubbish.
Shout out to you, the great one. Ever since we started it, we haven't lost a Mike Doreen Cup fixture, have we?
No.
Yeah, 4 from 4. Round 25, Friday, 18th of August. Another team we struggle against. Jeez, I keep saying this, Manly. We have a game at Mount Smart against Manly. Again, like they were another team that we had a massive losing streak against. For whatever reason, I think Brett Stewart played his whole career without ever losing to the Warriors, and so did Brett Morris. Brett Morris and Brett Stewart never lost to the Warriors in their whole career, which is amazing.
What about Steve Matt?
Steve Mattaway, he knew the stadium like the back of his hand. The number of times he toured the facilities. So no wonder he always played well against us there. And he always used to say, "Oh, it's a free trip home for me, and I get all my family to turn up to the stadium." So they didn't mind. I even remember like Kieran Foran saying back in the day, he used to love playing there because Manly back in the day had a really big following there with all the Kiwi boys that played there back in the early 90s.
Yep.
Brad, get excited. Round 26 again. Double your pleasure. Friday, 25th of August. This is a home game, so you're gonna have to wear one of those split jerseys. You're gonna have the Red V on one side and then the Warriors on the other side. We're playing the Dragons again. Surely for a shot of making the finals. Friday, 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock kickoff for you guys. And then again, the final round is against the Dolphins. But this one is being played at Suncorp Stadium. So if you can't make it over for Magic Round, make it over for this one, where we wrap up a final spot against the fledgling Dolphins. I'm sure we'll have another meet up at the Lord Alfred there as well. But always great. Like Suncorp is such a fantastic place to watch footy. And
I don't know why
make it over.
that game wasn't taken into Redcliffe. Warriors and the Dolphins.
Yeah, should have been.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a low-profile club.
Yeah. And that was our home ground for, 6 matches this year. I'm sure that we'd get a good following there. I don't think the Dolphins and the Warriors have Suncorp Stadium.
No, especially if we have a repeat of 2022. Yeah, I mean, if we're looking good, the boys will be out in force. And if the Dolphins are, there or thereabouts as well. But
let's be 100% honest here. Determine the wooden spoon.
Could quite be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or possibly the week before against the Dragons.
No, Dragons.
No.
Dragons are. Brad said it himself.
Dragons are specials.
Yeah.
So as you guys said, it's a fairly decent run home. So after our last bye, we played the Titans, Tigers, Seagulls, Dragons, and Dolphins. So I mean, none of those teams made the finals last season.
Yeah.
But again, as we've touched on, all these teams have improved their rosters. And I mean, we have to a certain extent, but I don't think in the areas that will need to be really competitive, like you said, Brad. The forwards, we just need that go forward.
Yeah.
We're
5 of the last 7 is a good thing, I guess, considering how we're starting the season with a lot of travel around Australia and up North Queensland for a game. Only 2 games. So we get Sharks, Raiders in rounds 20 and 21. I was at Seabus, and we're in Hamilton, Mount Smart, and finish off at Suncorp. So it's a good run. And if we're in contention there and around, then hopefully those games at home will, the home crowd can drive the boys to do so. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
100 days from today before the comp kicks off for season 2020 corner.
100 days today.
Yeah.
Season's getting longer and longer.
I know. It's like
just finished.
We're still in 2022. Yeah, like when you got the World Cup and it goes into like towards the end of November. It's been a hard slog, especially when we've had the kind of season we've had. And, well, that's it. 2022 done and dusted. As we said the other week, Control Alt Delete. There's like next to nothing that I want to remember from this season. Next to nothing I'll take out of this season. Apart from the great times that we had at Moreton Daly Stadium, going to Redcliffe, like having the team like basically in the backyard was pretty cool, and we did see a couple of wins there. But...
Yeah, the off-field stuff that we'll remember from 2022. For someone like Brad, it'll be that return home.
Yep.
That first Tigers, so there's obviously some good things we can take away. Not a lot of good things.
Yeah.
But time to reset. New coach players coming in. We've gotten rid of the guys that were there for like money and to try and get a step up for their next contract. Guys that weren't. So now, we've got a new breed of couple of players coming in for the club, knowing full well that the club is a New Zealand club and not throwing the surprised face up that they're going to, like a couple of the boys did. Hopefully good things ahead for the club. A long build, and I think we all just need to be a little bit patient.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Patience
absolutely.
is the key. Don't expect miracles, and start off the season well. Then who knows? That's the key. Any final thoughts, boys? Final reflections on 2022 rugby league season?
No. No, just very glad that it's over.
It's been a slog.
It's been a slog, and I think we talked a bit about it last night. That I think having our weekly show, I think kept everything okay. It was kind of like a
therapy
session every week, because it was really, I think the closer you got to the boys coming home, the worse it felt that they were away. I think we talked about it on your guys' show as well. The feel of disconnect between me and the club was at like an all-time low. Then the results not going the way you want, all the crap happening off the field. It's just very good that it's over. And like you said, a lot of the players that had probably not the right mindset to be a warrior are gone. And patience is the key. I always like to think a new coach, you give them the benefit of the doubt the first year. Generally, a lot of them are coming in with a team that isn't what they ideally want. So you give them a year to kind of feel it out, get an idea of what they're doing, and hope for the best.
Shape their roster.
So I'm not expecting miracles next year, but I want to see kind of like Peyton's time with the club, where the Warriors weren't winning every week, but they were giving it 100%.
They turned up every week, though. Yeah,
as long as they turn up every week. If they turn up every week, then they might surprise me. But I'm still in that 2022 negative funk. The Warriors' optimism isn't back yet.
We're there with you.
Yeah. Oh, guys, just quickly before we do wrap this up, if you like what we do and would like to support us, consider becoming a Patreon member for as little as $3 a month. The link should be on the screen there. I don't think it's come up, but the link is in our bio. For $3 a month, you can help support us to bring you the content that you guys enjoy. And another great way you can support us, and Richie mentioned it before, you can grab a T-shirt. If you want to grab a Francis Melly T-shirt or a Josh Curran shirt or any of the other T-shirts that we've designed, exclusive Roo Hammer only designs, head to our Redbubble store. There is a Black Friday special on, tomorrow being Black Friday. So I think it's 20 to 60% off store-wide. So jump on there, have a look. There should be some good discounts. So go and have a look and see what's there. See if there's anything, maybe a early Christmas present for yourself or someone else. But, get on board, and we appreciate all you guys who have bought T-shirts as well. And again, it all goes back into the show and helping us to bring you the content. Boys, thank you so much for joining us. As always, really appreciate you fellas for your input and your insight. And as we said, it's been a tough season, but we're a community here, and we're all going through it together. So thanks very much. Hammer, any final words?
I just want to reiterate what you said. It's always a pleasure to have Brad and Richie on. They pretty similar thing to what we do over in New Zealand that we here in Australia, and we've been able to connect with these guys and like-minded, and just love to get on and have a chat. It's always great when they're on the show, and at this point too, a very Merry Christmas coming
absolutely.
up. We won't be online now for until next season, so just hope everyone stays safe, is sensible, and a Merry Christmas, especially to you three blokes. It's a pleasure to chat with you.
Cheers. Right back at you,
Same
mate.
to you, mate. Yeah, same
Thank
to you.
you. Yeah.
Thank you so much to all you guys who watched via YouTube. It's probably going to be something that we'll do moving forward. We'll have all our live shows on YouTube. So make sure that you do subscribe to the channel and like and comment and join the discussion. Thanks to all the awesome comments that came through. And great to have you guys as always. But thank you. Have a safe holiday. Very Merry Christmas to you all. And we'll see you back live in 2023. Thanks, guys. Take care, everyone.
Cheers.